In this video, we're going to take a look at how to translate and then solve word problems where there are two unknown quantities. When there's one unknown quantity, it's direct translation. But when there are two, then there has to be some kind of comparison between them. So when there are two unknowns, you want to look for the comparison. And by that I mean one number is 5 more than another, one number is half of another, one state has 16 more electoral votes than another. So you're looking for some kind of comparison. Identify the unknown that you are told nothing about. The unknown that you know nothing about, you should call X. The other unknown, will be in an expression involving X. And I will try to make that very clear as we look at the following examples. All right, the first one says a 17-foot piece of string is cut into two pieces, two unknowns, so that the longer piece is 5 feet longer than twice the shorter piece. That's the comparison. It goes on to say if the shorter piece is X feet long, find the length of both pieces. All right, let's go back. The longer piece is 5 feet longer than twice the shorter piece. Even though they tell you to let the shorter piece be X, you could do that on your own because look at the comparison. The longer piece is 5 feet longer than twice the shorter piece. They don't tell you anything about the shorter piece. So X is about that quantity that you know nothing about, so it's the short piece. Now the long piece, it's been described in terms of the short one. What is the comparison? The long piece is 5 feet longer than twice the short one. 5 longer than twice the short one is X. That is the long piece. You're going to do this each time. One of them you know nothing about. The other one is described in terms of it. 5 longer than twice the short one, and the short one is X. That's the long piece. Now, after you've done the comparison, now it's time to write the equation. You go looking for another fact. The other fact is that they combine to be 17 feet long. So the short one plus the long one equals 17, or X plus 5 plus 2X is 17. Their sum is 17. So you add the short and the long. Now I can combine like terms. I have an X and a 2X, which makes 3X, plus 5 is 17. Subtract the 5. 3X is 12. Divide by 3. X is 4. Now what does X represent? Going back, X is the short piece. How do you find the long piece? Well, there's more than one way. My preference is to take this expression, 5 plus 2X. Put the value you got for X in the place of X. That's 5 plus 2 times 4. Simplify that. 2 times 4 is 8, plus 5 is 13, and that's the long one. Yes, if you're sitting there thinking, couldn't I just subtract 4 from 17 to get the other piece? The answer is yes. But there will be word problems that you can't do that on. So I think it's a good idea to take this expression and rewrite those, and that's where you get your two unknowns. All right, let's look at another one. Give myself a little more room. It says the weight of meteorite A is 6 times the weight of meteorite B. If the sum of their weights is 147 tons, find the weight of each. All right, comparison. A is 6 times the weight of B. I don't know anything about the weight of B, but I do know something about the weight of A. It is 6 times that. 6x is the weight of A. Now I look for a fact. The sum of their weights is 147, so A plus B is 147. So you're going to take the comparison and write the unknown expressions. Then you're going to look for the other fact, which most of these problems, it's going to be about their sum. So x is one of them, 6x is the other one, and their sum is 147. That means 7x is 147. Divide by 7, x is 21. Now what did we just find? X is the weight of B. 6x is the other one, so it's 6 times 21, which is 126. Yes, again, you could have taken 21 and subtracted it from the total of 147 to get the 126. But these are the weights. So for A, that's the bigger one, that's the 126, and B, that's 21. You want to make sure you answer them in the right spots. All right, last one on this page. It says two angles are supplementary if their sum is 180. Okay, believe it or that's a fact. The larger angle measures 6 degrees more than 5 times the measure of the small angle. If x represents the measure of the smaller angle, and these are supplementary, find the measure of each. Now, even if they had not told us that x would be the smaller, look at the comparison. The larger, it measures 6 degrees more than 5 times the smaller. So x would have to be the smaller. And that's just a symbol for angle. The larger one is 6 degrees more than 6 plus 5 times the small one, 5x. 6 plus 5x is the larger angle. There's the comparison. Now, the other fact is that they're supplementary, meaning their sum is 180. So I have x plus 6 plus 5x is 180. 1x, 5x gives me 6x, plus 6 is 180. Subtract 6, 6x is 174. Divide by 6. Grab my calculator. And x is 29. What did we get? We got the smaller angle. The larger one is 6 plus 5x. It is 6 plus 5 times 29. So I'll do that on my calculator. And I get 151 degrees. Yes, you could have taken 29 from 180 and gotten the 151. There's the small angle, there's the large angle. Each one of these definitions is repeated in the answer. Let's look at a few more. After a recent election, there were 14 more Republican governors than Democratic governors in the United States. That is a comparison. If there are 50 state governors in total, how many Democrats and how many Republicans? Okay, let's define. There are 14 more Republicans than Democrats. You don't know anything about the Democrats. The Republicans, there are 14 more than the Democrats. There's my comparison. Democrats unknown, Republicans, there are 14 more of them than the Democrats. The total of all of the governors is 50. The sum is 50. So the Democrats plus the Republicans add up to be 50. Combining my like terms, I have 2x plus 14 is 50. Subtract 14. 2x is 36. Divide by 2. X is 18. That is the number of X's Democrats, so that's 18. Now, I need to find the Republicans. They have 14 more than, so that's 14 plus 18, which is 32. Or you could have just subtracted the 18 from the 50. The reason I do this is because it's a more universal approach. This subtracting to get the second one only works if you're looking at their sum. And not every word problem in the world is going to be the sum. All right, let's look at our last one. A 28-inch board is to be cut into 3 pieces so that the second piece is twice as long as the first and the third piece is 4 times as long as the first. Now, they never told me anything about the first, so I already know that X is going to represent the first piece. The problem goes on to say if X represents the length of the first piece, but we knew that on our own. All right, the second piece is twice the first, so 2X is the second, and the third piece is 4 times as long as the first, so 4X is the third. These 3 pieces make up a 28-inch board. So again, in our problems, we're given their sum. So X plus 2X plus 4X is 28. This is implied 1, plus 2 is 3, plus 4 is 7X is 28. Divide by 7, X is 4. Now, this is an example of when you can't just subtract 4 from 28 to get the other because there are 2 others. 2X is the second piece, so it's 2 times 4, which is 8. 4X is the third one, so it's 4 times 4. I'm using the value for X, which is 16. The pieces are 4, 8, and 16. And if you added those all up, you will get 28. Okay, so that's what you're going to do when there are 2 unknown quantities. You're looking for a comparison and then an additional fact to write the equation.